Second conditional. In this lesson, you will be able to talk about imaginary situations and their consequences, their results, okay? Now, the question I would like to ask you before we start the lesson: is there a big contrast, big difference between rich and poor in our country? How do you think? Take some time and think about it. You may take some notes while you will be listening to this video. What is life like for them? So, are they having good times or bad times? Okay? Think about it, and then we will be discussing it during the video call. Now, I would like to show you one example. So, if you know this, okay, good, great for you. And where is it? If you can see, there is a difference, contrast between this part of the city and this. Now let's look at this video and try to understand where this is.
If you go to a Google map of Rio de Janeiro and put it into 3D mode, you can see what the city looks like as it was designed by urban planners. But you'll notice parts of the city that don't look like the rest. See the difference? The people who live in these parts of the city with the clean lines and the well thought out design are called people of the asphalt. The people who live in these parts of the city are called people of the hill. Even though the people of the asphalt and the people of the hill live closely intertwined throughout the city, they live vastly different lives. These informal communities that look like houses stacked on top of each other, sprouting out of the jungle, are called favelas, home to both vicious drug gangs as well as some of the most peaceful, creative, and resourceful people in Rio.
We're going to continue the lesson. If you want to watch the video till the end, you can go and enter this caption in YouTube and find it yourselves. Now, this picture is not Rio, but another city of Brazil, which is the largest and the wealthiest. But in spite of this fact, they have one very unique specialty, which is the favelas. Okay, if you can see it again, the contrast between that part and this part of the city. This part is called, as shown in the video, it is favelas, the slums of São Paulo. This place was originally located by the slaves who were living in this country, and then it stayed as it is, but the country nowadays is trying to eliminate this part of the city and trying to rebuild this. Okay, now the question that we have after all of this is that what does it tell you about the lives of people who live in this city? Okay, here in your book, on page 76, you have a dialogue which talks about the life of people who live in the city. To continue with second conditional is a structure used to talk about impossible and imaginary situation. Actually, I would say the situation is possible but very difficult to happen. So, for example, if I met the Queen of England, I would say hello. I would travel the world if I won a lot of money. Okay, there is a thing you need to pay attention here. So if guys, we start the sentence with if clause. We need to put the comma after the if clause. This part of the sentence is called main clause or the result. Here, the result or the main clause is given first. There's no difference between where we put the clause. It's not important which clause is first, but still, if we have the if clause first, we need to put the comma. If we use the main clause first, we do not need to put the comma here. So the magic formula, as I showed in the board, is if plus past simple and would or could plus infinitive form of the verb. Okay. Now, let's make this exercise. These situations are real. Now imagine things were different. We speak English. We can communicate with other English speakers. This situation is real. Now try to imagine that things were different. For example, if we didn't speak English, how do we continue? We couldn't communicate with other English speakers. Next sentence is also real, and now imagine that things were different and rewrite the following 3 sentences using second conditional. Here are the sentences. There is a coronavirus pandemic nowadays. We need to study from home. Sentence 3. Favelas have terrible conditions. Their inhabitants have difficult lives. Number 4. We use money. We don't have to swap things with other people. Now, take your notebook and rewrite the sentences using second conditional. That's the end of the lesson 2. Goodbye and see you in a video call.